Mark Noble has been making trips to Monaco to see one of his closest friends in football, Paul Mitchell. He's the sporting director of the Ligue 1 club and someone who has worked his way up throughout his post-playing career to show he is capable of scouting players. Mitchell has been linked with the director of football job at West Ham United, and the club is expected to appoint one at the end of the season. This has left questions unanswered over Rob Newman's immediate future. He could either be reassigned a role or let go completely. But Mitchell is still expected to come in. If anything, it's quite exciting. It means we have proper recruitment with a proper and competent scout. Well, he's more than a scout. He's actually going to be the head of recruitment, someone who can lead the scouts on successful scouting missions and report back to the manager. Who exactly is Paul Mitchell, though? Well, he's 41 years old. He's originally from the Greater Manchester area, and he had a professional playing career which lasted 9 years. He played for Wigan Athletic and the MK Dons, and had various loan spells at lower league clubs. The last 2 years of his playing career were disrupted by injuries, and he was forced to retire at the age of 28. After he retired, he became part of a newly found recruitment division at the MK Dons. Carl Robinson was appointed manager of the club in 2010. At the time, Robinson was 29 years old and was the youngest coach in England's professional footballing pyramid. The MK Dons thrived with Mitchell there and started to make strides further up the Ligue 1 table. The goal was promotion to the Championship. It was eventually achieved, however, it was after he left the club that this happened. In January 2012, he moved to the Championship club Southampton and became head of recruitment. He worked under Nigel Adkins and later Mauricio Pochettino. He signed many players to make the squad more tailored to the Argentinian manager. He signed Maya Yoshida, Nathaniel Klein, Stephen Davis. He signed Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk as well. He left when Pochettino moved to Spurs and joined his manager effectively in North London. Spurs was a highly successful time in Mitchell's career, and it was a big challenge for him. He was working with a top-end Premier League club with a larger fan base. He was working at a club that had problems off the field and was trying to build into something that could be taken seriously, and he made serious signings while he was at Spurs. He signed Sung Hun Min, Dele Alli, Kieran Trippier, Toby Alderweireld signed for the club, and it seemed to pay off. Dele Alli had his best years of his career thus far during this time. He knew Ali because of his connection with the MK Dons. Ali was a youth academy player there. Sung Hun Min was a bright Asian footballing talent who took some time to bed into the Premier League, but later became a player who would score over 100 goals and considered the greatest Asian footballer of all time. Trippier, also bolstered up that defence. Toby Alderweireld was a good signing at the time. But things turned very sour at Spurs, and this convinced Mitchell to move on. He handed in his notice because he fell out with Daniel Levy. I suppose that's been a thing at Spurs over the last couple of years. Managers and recruitment have fallen out with Levy because of his tightness and very dogged approach to things. After he left Spurs, he moved abroad and moved to RB Leipzig in Germany. He didn't mess around and quickly got to work. He signed Emil Smith-Rowe on loan, and this loan spell helped Smith-Rowe to get some regular game time with Arsenal. He signed Tyler Adams. He signed Mateus Cunha. Nordi Mukiele also signed during this time. He's since gone to play for PSG. Leipzig was a team that was relatively young at this time. It was young because it had only been around for less than 10 years in existence. But it was already gaining international attention. It's something that I think Mitchell wanted to show in terms of diversity. He wanted to show that he could work abroad in a league that's quite similar in style to English football. It really did pay off for him. And he was even linked with clubs in the Premier League, such as Manchester United. That, to many, would have been something to snap up within seconds. But he didn't do it right away. He also was able to sell for profit. Naby Keita went to Liverpool. Ademola Lookman went into the Premier League to play for Everton and managed to get some playing experience. So he's quite wise with his outgoings. He signed Nkunku from PSG. Dani Olmo joined from Dinamo Zagreb for 20 million euros. He got in Patrick Schick, who's since become a familiar face in the Bundesliga. All in all, he made the most of his time there. He worked with some of the best young managers in Europe. He worked with Julian Nagelsmann. He was even considered to expand his role across the Red Bull model to go and work for Salzburg and the New York Red Bulls. In June 2020, he left and joined Monaco to become the sporting director. While he was at Monaco, he again signed some very good players. He signed Axel Disasi for £10 million. Disasi's already being looked at with a move to other major clubs. It's impressive to think that he's doing these kind of things. This season, he signed players such as Briel Embolo. He signed Pavlovic, who was already being linked with a move away from France because he's so good. He's a player who was put out on loan. In the 2021-22 season, Mitchell worked behind the scenes again. They didn't spend a hell of a lot of money this time round, but he got in players that need to be in just little nitty places. Ismail Jacobs came in from FC Clern. Jacobs was mentioned on one of my scouting report videos as a potential Cresswell replacement in the long run. He signed Myron Boadu from AZ Alkmaar, a player who was linked with West Ham 4 years ago. What would Mitchell be able to bring? He'd bring three things to West Ham, in my opinion. He would bring transfer stability. There wouldn't be any of these 30-plus players coming in for higher wages. He'd make sure that younger players were given the higher contracts and show more value. He would be able to find players with a triple resale value. Players who are upcoming young talents in Europe are appealing to him because he sees what they are worth physically in the team and for monetary gain in the future. He's a young director who's with the liberalised modern footballing trends. He understands a team's style of play and culture. For example, RB Leipzig had a culture of bringing up youth players and young players. West Ham has an academy that's had traditions with that and has been known for that before. It certainly could work there. And he'd have the building blocks for it. Thirdly, and finally, he has contacts in major leagues, especially the Bundesliga and Ligue 1. Two of my personal favourite leagues. I like the Bundesliga a hell of a lot more personally, but it's not about personal preference. Mitchell would certainly be someone to seriously respect. I would welcome him into this club. He'd have contacts and a scouting network to bring to the club. As someone that the manager and Mark Noble would like. Mark Noble said to be close friends with him, so that makes the settling in process a little bit better. We wouldn't go by what Newman's transfer targets are. And Newman has helped us sign some excellent players, no doubt about it. But I think we need someone who can be there to take the reins with logistics behind it. Paul Mitchell has dodged offers from Manchester United to build himself as a head of recruitment. Start off slower and work your way up. It's worked for him. Look where he's at now, and look what he could do. It's something to look forward to. And it should cause West Ham fans not to panic about Newman's future, because we'd be safe with Mitchell in charge. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to sub for more content. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all soon.